Happy Saturday, everyone. Hope you're having a relaxing or productive Saturday, just having a good Saturday in general. Today, I wanted to talk about two things: traveling, why it's so important, why I think you should do it, how to do it if you're not too financially blessed, if you're not fucking rich, and two, money. Just a little bit about money. I grew up pretty privileged. I still am pretty privileged. So I've been to several countries in Europe, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Southern Europe, London, the island. I've been to Japan, Asia. Lived in Japan for 4 months. Been to Mexico, Panama, Peru. So I've had my fair share of experiences with countries that are not the United States. And I think it's super important for people our age to travel. And when I mean our age, I mean 22. I'm 22. And just gain new perspectives about life. And I know everyone says, oh, travel, travel, travel. And you're going to be like, well, I don't have the money. Or I don't have the money to do it the way I want to do it. I don't have $2 quadrillion to fly first class then go to wherever I want to go. It's not important. All you need to do is get a few buddies. Get a few buddies. If one of you has a car and you live in the United States, say if you're on the West Coast, you need to go to Yosemite, Death Valley, Lake Tahoe, San Francisco, Los Angeles, road trip, wherever. And it's super important because if you grow up in the suburbs all day and you do your rinse and repeat, routines that you got going on, you don't know what life is like for the other 99% of people who don't do that. Vice versa. If you live in the city, go explore some suburbs. And I'm telling you this because when you watch the news and you hear political things and you hear foreign policy things, you come from it just from what you know, as everyone does. I come from it as what I know. Before I studied international relations and economics, my view on those two things and foreign policy, totally different than it is now. Why? Because of my perspective, because of what I've seen, because of what I've been able to experience. So I think I have a pretty cultured and nuanced perspective of the world. So if you're stuck in your suburbs and you're reading about high inflation, low wages, wage stagnation, purchasing power going down, and people struggling to live, if you're in a privileged situation, none of that is going to apply to you. You're going to be like, well, work fucking harder. And to some extent, I do agree. You can always work harder. Not saying that effort won't get you results, because it will, but you need your effort placed somewhere where your return on investment is just a good return on investment. You can be a CEO and work insanely hard, and there's probably a McDonald's worker that's working hard on you. It's just that the return on investment on what the CEO is doing is just different. And it gives you perspective. I'll tell you, when my girlfriend came down, she's from the Bay Area. She came down to Los Angeles, where originally I'm from. So I showed her, Beverly Hills, which is top of the top, Malibu, top of the top. And then 15 minutes drive down to downtown Los Angeles, then we're in Skid Row. The perspective and the economic disparity is just so drastic that it gives you a new outlook on life, really tells you what's important, where you should put all your energy and effort to. And it just makes you a better person because you know more. It doesn't make you as ignorant and as tunnel visioned. And that's just within cities. I have another beer. I'm getting ready for the UFC 319. I have a few buddies coming over, so getting a little pregame and record. Anyway, back to traveling. I'll tell you a story. When I was in Mexico City, I stayed at the Ritz-Carlton in Polanco. Like I said, I'm a privileged dude. Ritz-Carlton in Polanco, yeah. We get our dinner. Very good dinner. Polanco is a really nice area of Mexico. You walk around, beautiful architecture, some native Mexican architecture. Um, you got little tiendas with people setting up shop, trying to sell all their handmade goods to tourists like me. People trying to live. We're walking around the city. It's like 1 a.m. and we walk by this woman who has like a blanket over her, and she's like, por favor, like dinero, give me dinero, give me some money, please, para mi hijos, so her children. I didn't see any children, and I wasn't really inclined to give, but she was sitting outside a Michelin star restaurant. If that doesn't paint a picture for you for certain economic standings of people in the world and how the economic divide is just so great and only getting bigger, I don't know what will. But anyway, she had a blanket over her, and then my mom is Hispanic, so she felt like, she's like, this is my people, I need to give back to my people. So she did. She, took out like 40 American dollars, which is, I don't know how many pesos, although I should. I studied exchange rates. But I gave her 40 pesos, and then like 5 kids just popped out, and they're all under the age of 5. So 5 in 5 years, she got busy. But like 5 kids popped out under that blanket, and they're all just like, gracias, señora, gracias, gracias. And my mom speaks Spanish. She was like, oh, like, no problema, like, I'm happy to do it, muy feliz. And those are just things that we are coming out from our expensive ass dinner, seeing this, and it does something to you. It gives you perspective. It shows you life sucks for a lot of people. Living in America, or at least certain parts of America, you don't see these things. If you live in the suburbs, you don't see that. You see homeless people, but one thing I'll say is they're all tweakers. They all have mental health issues because of drug abuse. Why they started drug abuse, no one will ever know. Most of the time, they're tweakers. You don't want to associate with them because odds are they might get violent. Not in other countries, particularly because they're so strict when it comes to their drug rules or drug laws. So you can't even get these things to begin with. But it just shows you that when you see the news, when people are talking about, oh, I can't buy this fucking Labubu, I can't buy this, my car's not good enough. Some people can't even feed their families. And I'll tell you another story. I was in Turkey, Istanbul, and there's these 2 dogs, because I don't know, but Turkey and the Turkish cities, like Istanbul and Ankara and Cappadocia, their culture towards stray animals is just one that I've never seen before. Like, they really care about the strays. But there was this shop owner, not making much money, but he always made sure that these dogs and cats had something to eat. So they would set up little dog bowls, little everything for them: food, water, shelter when it gets cold. And the way they treat their people and the way they treat the animals is just so much different than the United States. Like, here, everyone, I'm not saying the United States is like full of dickheads, but it's a little bit more selfish of a society. You kind of look out for yourself and your small circle around you. You don't really go out of your way to do many altruistic things. And I'm not saying it's like you whoever's listening to this, you are a dickhead. No, I'm just saying in general, this is what I've noticed in America. But I think if you just go outside and you just travel, and you don't have to do it in expensive manners. Hostels are there. If you're a woman, then I do your research. If you're a guy, you should be okay. Grab a few buddies, take some time off of work if you can afford it, which I know which sucks, but labor laws exist for a reason now. Thank you, Gen Z, for finally pushing for accurate representation in the job market. Take that time off and make memories. If you have the money, stop buying these stupid things. Like, if you have a nice watch or you're spending money on nice clothes, stop it. Like, if you should not be buying clothes unless you grew out of it. Maybe you were overweight, you lost some weight, so you need new ones, you can't fit it. Unless you grew out of it, you know, it got an oil stain on it, you can't fix it, or it's just like busted, broken. You know, you got holes in your clothes. Don't do that. Be presentable. But if it's not one of those scenarios, stop spending money on materialistic things, because it's just a cycle. You're gonna buy this, it's not enough. You're gonna buy something else, it's not enough. You're gonna buy a Toyota GR86, fuck, I want a Supra. You're gonna get the Supra, fuck, I want a Nissan GTR. You're gonna get a GTR, you're gonna want I want a 911, Porsche 911. Then you want a Lamborghini, what's the new one, Temerario? Yeah. Then you want a Temerario, then you want a Rolls Royce. You're never gonna be satisfied. I'm not saying don't, like, buy anything. Obviously, you need to live, like, enjoy yourself, but don't have your primary source of happiness, your locus of motivation cannot be external. You know, it's just not gonna get you anywhere. It's not sustainable. Eventually, it's gonna get old, and you're gonna burn out, and you're gonna be 50, realizing I have 3 Rolexes, no friends, no nothing, no community. Life fucking sucks. Don't let that happen to you. And I can tell you, because I've flown business class, first class, economy. Is it nice? Yes. But will you still get there without spending $20,000 on an airplane ticket? Yes. So if you and your friends have some money, like, you need money to do things. It just sucks the way, but that's the way we growing up. Save some money, go on a road trip, spend your money on memories, spend your money on experiences, not so much materialistic things. And here's where I'll tell you, I have a caveat. If the money I'm spending is helping to enhance an experience, I'm okay with it. I'm not a fashion guy. I'm not gonna buy Louis Vuitton, Balenciaga, fucking Dino Stoppers. I like sports, I like paintball, I like snowboarding. I will buy a better paintball gun because it enhances my time. I will buy a better snowboard because it enhances my experience. I will buy better snow clothes so I don't freeze to death. Oh, damn, that was close. But that's just my philosophy on the money thing. But when you travel, you just see so many things that you've never seen before. And I think it gives you more empathy, because you just see these people that are all over the world. And they're literally just like me and you, trying to get by, trying to do things that make them happy, trying to provide for their family. But they just can't, because they were not cursed, but they were just born in the situation that they were born in. And they need to fight tooth and nail every day just to exist. And I feel like if you're from a suburb, like say you're from fucking Palo Alto or something, you're never gonna understand what these people are going through. So yeah, grab a few buddies, get out anywhere, go on a road trip. I used to do tons of road trips, friends of mine, and just go see things, you know. Especially if you're young, you're not gonna have this time forever. Don't invest so much on going to the bar. Well, this is just me. I can't. This is what I like to do. I like to go to the bars and clubs. Hell yeah, I do. But invest more with the people that align with things you're able to do. You know, just like whatever. Friends that will go on a Target run with you. Friends that will help. That will come over when you're putting together a TV stand. There are some people that I met at the bars and clubs over the years. Obviously, when we met, yo, like, you're so fucking cool. Like, what's your Instagram? We're hella gonna meet up. You never do. There are friends that I met just doing paintball, doing random stuff, snowboarding, and I still keep in touch with them. How do I do this, guys? Oh, got him in there. But yeah, especially after moving. I've only been here for a few months, but I want a beer break. Especially after moving and having to kind of start over. My real friends, my true friends, how are you doing? You know, are you okay? You adjusting? I know it's a big thing. My first quote unquote big boy, well, I had an internship, but first quote unquote big boy job, paying rent, paying utilities, cooking for myself, doing all these things. Like, how are you holding up? And the people that do that, the people that stay connected with you, you got to keep them by your side. Like, I feel you're only going to have a handful of friends after college. Like, older you get, smaller your circle gets, but the more close you are to them, the more you understand them, the more you guys like care about each other. So invest in friendships for sure. Don't hang out with dumbass douchebags. Just don't do it. Like I said, I'm not telling you not to drink and go to the bars and stuff. I know I do that shit a lot. Don't make that your priority, or else you're gonna be 30 with a beer belly. Damn, where'd all my time go? I have no friends. I only have that one guy that hits me up because I can sell him weed. Just not the way you want things to go. Now another thing, let me talk about money. There is a statistic that your level of life satisfaction and happiness doesn't really change after 85,000. 80,000, it probably needs to be adjusted for inflation, so I'm gonna say like 80,000. That's a lot of money, yes. Impossible to get after 3, 4, 5 years in work? No. Very attainable. You know Maslow's hierarchy of needs? Oxygen, water, food, shelter. Once you got that, everything else is a luxury. No, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying you need to live in a tent. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like I'm playing on an Xbox, sitting in my apartment with a beer. I'm living in luxury. But don't let just your money be your only drive, because you see all the millionaires, you see all the gajillionaires, they're depressed. You see all the sons and daughters of those gajillionaires, and they're all addicted to drugs. Something about just the chase of money and getting the money is not fulfilling. And if the sooner you find that out, the better your life is going to be. Money is great. Money is great. But if you have a Rolex, you need to truly think about, if you're buying that Rolex just for status, I'm buying this because I want other people to think I have money, what are you doing? Like, it doesn't matter. Once, I saw this thing on a TikTok. It said, once you get yearbook day in high school, popularity doesn't matter. Once you walk from that graduation stage, what frat you are in, like what sororities you went to, does not matter. No one cares unless you got like networks from it, whether you met people from it. But no one's gonna care. Like you go someone, like you go to a tennis court and you meet your you know, your hitting partner. Hey, like, by the way, I was in this sorority. Like no one gives a fuck. So what I'm saying is, like, don't flex just to show other people that you're making it. You need to like prove to yourself that you can make your goals. Sorry, I'm a little too focused. Give me a second here. Damn. Yeah, but if you're living check to check, you gotta figure out your finances. I will go in depth in these later, but my things about money, you know, I like I said, I've been privileged to where my parents have it. It makes life great, yes, but I didn't really notice a difference from when I grew up poor to, you know, where I am now. It's not everything. It helps, yes. I'm not saying money's not necessary. Fuck capitalism, you know, let me go get my green juice. No, not at all. You need money. Everybody needs money. But don't let it be the only thing that you use for motivation. Don't let that be the only thing in life that you're chasing, because you're going to be 85 on your deathbed with your Ferrari in the garage. Like, great. You know, it's just not worth it. But yeah, anyway, if you can and you have the finances to do so, travel. The different perspectives that you get, what's the word for that? Invaluable. You can't get it unless you do it. You can read all you want about it, you can watch all these travel vlogs and videos, but it's not the same unless you do it. So grab a few friends, go to a national park, get a tent, you know, grab some fishing poles, enjoy nature, enjoy the earth as it was intended to be enjoyed. You know, go to these go to these historical European cities. See what they had without, you know, technology, without TikTok, without Instagram. See how they made these beautiful churches. See how they made these intricate bridges. See how Picasso painted, you know. Go spend your money on experiences. I think that's my main point here. Get the money, save the money, because you gotta work, you know, no free handouts. Especially after the big beautiful bill, you know, they're cutting SNAP benefits. But Get your money, save your money, spend it on experiences, and do things. Here I am playing games, you know, but you can't be grinding all the time. You gotta, you know, life has to be balanced. But yeah, I'll tell you, I've done a lot of things in college. I bought some expensive things, and I'm never gonna like. Of course, I remember buying it just because I was like, oh, this is the first time I'm buying a luxury item. I bought a Louis Vuitton wallet, just because I thought it would be cool. No one gave a fuck. No one ever said, oh, nice wallet. You know, like no one cares. But I do remember I went camping. All my friends, how was camping? How was it? Like, what'd you do? Oh my god, that was so cool. That's what I remember, way more than anything else. And I think figuring that out right now is way more beneficial than everyone else, or way more beneficial than anything I've learned at this age. And you're gonna see people on Instagram marketing to you, like TikTok shop. People are gonna be like, you need these new shoes. No, you don't. No, you don't. You need to figure out what you like, figure out who you like to surround yourself with, and you know, take care of your family, take care of your friends, be there for them, and just enjoy your limited time on this earth. You know, and that can be done without buying all these products that you really don't need. Yeah, those are just some of my thoughts. I'll elaborate on finances later. I want to make a really detailed video about my finances and my philosophy about it. And traveling, I'll go more in depth. I'll probably do some story times of other things I've learned. Maybe separate by Europe, Asia, South America, and Africa, and North America, you know, including Canada. Duh. But yeah, happy Saturday. Go Khamzat Chimaev for UFC 319. I got $50 on that parlay right now, so hopefully he hits. I'm hoping for a round one fucking Chechen charge from this guy against Duplessis, but you know, we'll see. As always, good luck with oh my god, good luck with all your goals, all your endeavors, and it'll all be good. Keep grinding, one step at a time, one day at a time, and I hope you guys have a good one.